All right, let's start going over some problems. See how we do.
Can you not check it today?
Let's get right in. All right, let's. Stephen, would you flip the light switch down for us, please?
So you said 1 through 18?
I think so.
Yeah.
Why did more?
Okay.
Well, that really
Wait, 1
sucks
through
for
18
you.
on which page?
That's good.
151, 152. Oh, so the whole
That means
backside of
you'll get better
150
on
we're good,
tests.
right?
Boy, we made it the whole year, and this is the first time we've had. Wait, what did you sign?
150, we're just not worried about, right? 150's no.
Well,
150, we're not worried about.
we're not worried about
150
150 right now.
Sweet.
Sweet,
I
Caroline.
don't know how 150.
What about 150?
All right.
Think about 150.
So, as we're waiting for the stuff to launch up here, let's see. Solve by finding square roots of quadraticals and give exact answers. So why do 1, 2, and 3? Why can I solve them just by taking the square roots? What they might be perfect squares, but what about what else am I missing? What else is missing from those problems? The b value. So problem number 1, you have this. Problem number 2, you have a grouped amount of stuff. And then problem number 3, you have so the term that you are missing on each one of these is called the linear term. It's the b term. It's linear term because it's linear. It's because it's x. It's just x raised to the first power. So on the first problem, you would just subtract 23 from both sides. Would that be all right? And that gives you 7x squared equals 77. Divide each. Oops, come on. There we go.
buddy.
Divide by 7, so
X
we get to
equals
11. So x is equal to what?
11.
What?
Square root 11.
Plus or minus root 11.
Oh.
Good. So plus or minus root 11 is the answer. Hey, how many answers are right there? 2. You have positive root 11 and negative root 11.
I almost got it right.
Okay. So again, we're missing the linear term. So this one, we have a grouped amount here. So don't go FOIL this out. Just go, okay, well, I'll add 3 to both sides. Add 3, so I get 64, I believe. Is that okay so far? And then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So I divide here by 4, divide by 4 over here. So I get x minus 7 quantity squared. And then 4 goes into 64. Is it 16 times? Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Then I take the square root of each side.
X minus 7 equals square root of
Yeah, I
16.
did this.
What's the square root of 16?
4.
So I have to have plus or minus 4. How many answers are right here? 2. So then I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So I get 7 plus 4 and 7 minus 4. The reason I wrote it that way is because we can do the arithmetic. I get 11 for an answer, and I get 3 for an answer. Sometimes you might see the answer written like this in these fancy brackets. 11, comma, 3. They use the fancy brackets so you realize it's not a point. That's the solution set. Is that all right? Number 3, again, we're missing the linear term, which is the x term. So you're going to subtract 36 here, subtract 36 here. Those are gone. 9x squared is equal to, was that 81?
Yep.
Divide by 9. So x squared equals 9.
Square root.
So square root both sides. So I get x is equal to
Plus or minus 3.
plus or minus 3. How many answers are right there?
2.
2. Positive 3 and negative 3. So sometimes you're missing the linear term. That's the b value. That's a term that's associated with the x term. Okay? Factor each quadratic equation using the zero product property. So the next 3, they're actually saying, let's go ahead and solve by factoring. Okay, remember we've used factoring.
Those were the good old days.
Good old days of factoring when you all thought, oh, that's all I got to do. And then, boom, we nail you with more. Okay, so the zero product property just means, hey, you have to have it equal to 0. So factor it. So our magical number here is 12. Both signs have to be positive, positive. So I get 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. And 3 and 4 would work when those are both add up to 7.
2x squared
Uh-huh.
plus 4x plus 3x plus 6 equals 0.
There you go. So then you look here and say, oh, I can factor out a 2 and an x, and that leaves me x plus 2. And here I can factor out a plus 3, x plus 2. So you get x plus 2 and 2x plus 3. But I'm not done yet. Why not?
You have to solve for x.
You have to solve for x. So set each of those equal to 0. So x plus 2 equals 0. So subtract 2, you get that. And then this one, I get 2x equals 0, or equals negative 3, excuse me. And then x equals negative 3 over 2. There's my two answers. Okay, so sometimes you can factor out. What did I say yesterday, though? If you use the quadratic formula on something that could be factored out, what happens? You have a what? Yeah, you have a perfect square under the square root sign. So once you've done the b squared minus 4ac, that would be a perfect square. So it would be a 0, it would be a 1, it would be a 4, it would be a 9, 16, 25, 36, whatever. Okay? Problem number 5. Problem number 5, we go to factor it. How do we factor it? What's the specialty on this? It's missing the linear term. It's missing, okay?
Yeah, I'm just. It's making a noise. I'm sorry.
It's making a noise? Well,
Yeah.
stop it then. Stop making the noise.
Plus 25.
Okay, I could plus 25.
You could. The
Square
b
root.
value
Square
would be
root
plus
it.
2x.
So I could do add 25, divide by 4, take the square root of both sides. So let's do that way real quick. Hang on. Let's do this real quick. Is this okay?
No, don't do it.
And then if I root, I get x equals plus or minus 5 over 2.
That's stupid. But
Okay?
don't do that.
Or you could recognize that this is the difference of two squares. 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5. What did I miss?
No, she's like, no, that's stupid. Don't do it that way.
Why is that funny?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just you did it. And she was like, no, don't do it that way. It's stupid.
So there's one answer.
I'm not a freshman.
Who's not a freshman?
Ram.
Could you do?
Alright, so, hey, take a look. Negative 5 halves, positive 5 halves, or plus or minus 5 halves. How many answers are right here?
2.
2. Are those two answers the same as those two answers?
Yeah.
Which way is the best way to do it?
The second one.
You pick. Some of your minds are going to work the green way, some are going to work the red way. Which is the right way?
Both.
Right way.
Both ways, as long as you get the correct answer. Alright, problem number 6. What has to happen on number 6 before we...
Minus 2x.
No. Get it.
Minus 2x.
Plus-
Minus 2x, that's right. You want both terms, so it's going to be equal to 0. Okay? How do you do this? What can I factor out here?
X.
And that leaves me x minus 8, right?
Yeah.
X equals 0.
So my first answer, if you have x standing alone, x is equal to 0, and then x minus 8, so x equals 8. There's your two answers.
Ooh, this one, I just did the magical number.
Cool,
And I
and
did
it worked.
8 times 0, negative. Did it work? Yeah.
Love it. Good deal. Use the quadratic formula to solve each equation. Okay, so now we have to start using the quadratic equation. Okay, so they're directing us to go this way. Is it possible you could factor out? I don't know. I haven't really worked them out yet. If I'm going to use the quadratic equation, what do I have to do?
List the A, B, C.
Yeah, I need to have this 8 over on the other side, so I have to subtract it, right? Is that all right? And then I have to realize I have an A value, which is 2, a B value, which is 5, a C value, which is negative 8.
You're wrong. You want to sing the song?
Oh, for
Now.
what?
Are you
Now.
serious?
Now, that's a
All
C.
over to A.
That wasn't even close.
What was that?
I think,
It was
You
like,
should have
an
said
all
it when we
over.
were-
oh, poor Rom.
Ron was like all over.
Alright, negative 5 plus or minus
All over.
25 minus 4 times 2 times negative 8. All over 2 times 2. Real quick, if I go Negative 4 times 2 times negative 8 is positive or negative?
Positive.
Positives. Positive what?
64.
64. Agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all over 4.
I give you 89.
That's 89? I don't think I could break root 89 down. Does 3 go in it?
No.
No.
I did 25 minus 64.
That's done.
You should have done 25 plus 64.
Yeah. You goofed it if you did a minus there.
Goofed it.
Watch your signs. It's a different answer.
Way different.
Because then it'd be
No,
That's
that's not even on the right part.
What? What
I
did I
was
do?
trying to sing the song, but you can't.
It happens. Number 8. Number 8.
like it'd be square root. I don't know. That's what I just
I don't even know how it goes anymore.
All right.
She probably thinks it better than I heard that song.
B squared.
All right. Some of you are off task. What's A?
1.
1?
Negative 4. Negative 3.
I don't know. I just told me to use the quadratic formula, so I wasn't even thinking that. It might factor. Does it factor?
So it's
No,
positive.
it
Positive 4
doesn't.
plus
No,
or
it
minus
doesn't.
root.
You're ding dong.
Factors of 3 are 1 and 3. They both would have to be alternating signs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, but you don't need to be jumping around. All right. Too much talking, guys and girls. Too much talking. That means if you're talking. Hey, what's this going to be?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. Everyone agree?
Yeah.
What's this
16.
going to be? 16?
Minus 4 times 1 times negative 3. All over 2 over 1.
Cool. So, what's in here going to be?
Negative 12. 12.
Positive 12, right?
28.
28. 4 plus or minus root 28
Over 2.
over 2.
Reduce.
Now, I can reduce, right? So root 28, let's break 28 down. That's going to be 2 times 14. 14 is 2 times 7, yes? So, no.
2. You can bring in 2 out.
2 root 7.
Root 7.
2 root 7. All right, so this becomes 4 plus or minus 2 root 7 all over 2. What's the last step?
Reduce.
Reduce. 2 goes into 2 and it goes into 4. So I get 2 plus or minus root 7. How many answers are right there?
2.
2. 2 plus root 7 and 2 minus root 7. All right. Yes, and what?
How do you know when you can like simplify?
Well, you just have to look at the radicals, see if I can have any perfect squares in there. So if over here came at like 2 times 13, it's not going to go any further. Yeah, Ram.
It's a quadratic equation what they use when like they can't factor the magical number.
Do you just not put the 1 in front of the?
You can if you want.
It's just
It's your choice. It's not wrong if you don't have it, but I will
It's
never.
not wrong if you don't have it.
Oh,
Mom.
jeez. What did I do to deserve Ram?
Obviously nothing.
What do you mean nothing? You must
They
have did
just
something
did it to
really
you for
bad.
no reason.
Must have
Alright.
did something pretty bad.
So, little noisy. I'm sorry, Ram. I should have pushed you to accelerated calculus 9.
You should have though.
I know.
Then he could have nagged on the other teachers.
And then you
And he wouldn't fail.
And then you get tired back.
That's a good
Alright. So, shh. Hey, why do you think I write this over and over and over again?
So we can get it in our brain.
Yeah, I want you to know it.
Then
It's going on in my head. You can't hear it?
sing it.
Alright, hey, what's here?
5.
5 plus or minus?
25 minus 4 times 2 times
48.
12.
96.
All over 2 times 2.
5 plus or minus root, that's what, 25
Plus 96.
plus 96?
Yep.
Really?
Over 4.
Sir.
Be quiet.
Got the solo section back there. Hey, am I done there?
No.
What's the square root of 121? 11. So I get 5 plus or minus 11 over 4. So 5 plus 11 is 16 over 4.
4.
Stop. SD, stop.
5 minus 11 is?
It's stressing me out.
So that'll reduce to
Negative 0.
Negative 3 over 2.
Whoa.
There's my two answers. I'm just telling you.
I'm just
Yeah,
telling
that's
you.
the other question that I didn't answer.
Wait, where's this?
I have written every step up there because there's something that I could clarify.
Maybe could you show us how to do
Did
the
you do a
equation
mixed
again?
numbers?
Maybe could you show us how to get
Bad
to
math.
the
It is dirty math to do mixed numbers.
Can you tell me how to factor?
This is hard math. I don't like this math.
It's just multiplying.
No, it's not. It's so much harder.
Are you gonna teach us the
I
calculator?
can second grade my teacher.
Yeah, let's do that.
It'd be helpful if you showed us how to get to the equation like you did the other day.
So,
Just do it based on that.
so calculator active just means
There's a way on the calculator.
no. So, when we put calculator active, we want certain parts of arithmetic to be done without a calculator. Like we would like you to be able to take the square root of 121 and know what it is without, relying on a calculator. I mean, I still have students where it's like, what's 5 squared? Go to your calculator, 5 squared, 25. How do you not know that? But it's like, oh, well, it's hard for me. How? How is it hard? What
5
happens?
times 5 is not
All right.
hard.
Root. If I do root, what's going to be over here?
4.
2 root 2, good. And the plus or minus. Hey, where'd 2 root 2 come from? I broke 8 up into 2 times 2 times 2. Took that out. Yes?
2 root 2.
So my answer will be at 8 plus or minus 2 root 2. Hey, can I add 8 and 2 root 2 together?
No.
No, can you simplify it though?
Divided by.
Oh no, it needs a fraction.
Everyone got quiet. Everyone's like, what's he talking about? All right, 17.
Everyone just came quiet. It was
Say what? Hey, what should I do here?
Hey.
You should
Minus one.
Minus 11. What's that minus 11? What kind of term is that?
B.
What kind of term is it? It is B. What else?
B.
What else is it?
Negative.
What else is it?
11.
B negative.
Linear.
Linear.
Why is it linear?
Because it's raised to the first power. Minus 11x. Not sure if y'all saw this right away, but I saw it because I know how to factor.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
no, we saw it. We definitely saw
I
it.
didn't see that.
That was easy.
That was way too bad.
Now Rom's gonna say, can we use the quadratic formula on it? Yeah. Do we get different answers? You sure do.
What?
Rom's
What?
like-
Rom's like, it's x equal 3.
I'm sorry, that's usually those conversations just take place in my head. They don't always make it out.
Why does it all equal 0?
Yes, we didn't get one.
Rom, why did you circle the answers?
We did not.
That was funny. That was real funny.
Rob, get your hands off of Corey.
He got scared.
I did.
He was like,
He rocked back.
Corey,
He's about
don't
to
scare me.
flip out of his chair. Corey, he's about to flip out of his chair. It's like,
Alright. Help me out. Help me out.
Last one.
take out
Yeah,
X.
subtracting 1.
What?
We good so far?
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I can factor this.
No, you
No.
can't do this.
So, what's my A term?
At
1.
1. What's my B term?
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
What's my C term?
Negative
Negative
1.
1.
Is it okay? How do you know which negative 1 is in the B term and the C term?
What?
No, the thing is, he'll solve the problem, then ask you questions.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
He sees you do it right before, and then he's like, oh, okay, I can do this part.
Ron, they're calling you out.
Sing
it, Rom.
What?
Oh, it's already read. No more singing. Alright. Ron, John can't see.
Wait, Mr. Stewart, can we have a sing?
You're taking away from his education.
John, I'm sorry, John. Do you accept my apology, John?
Oh.
No. That's awesome. Alright, hey, here we
He
go.
said that's awesome.
There is
What do we get? I just asked you 3 times.
1 plus or minus a square root of
1.
1.
Minus 4
times 1 times negative 1, which is
Positive
4.
4.
4.
What?
1 minus 4. 1 plus
Plus
4.
4, you ding dong.
Ding and donging.
I just.
I love it. Someone's calling someone a ding dong in here. Hey, how many answers are right there?
2.
2. I think that's all of the problems we had. Yes?
You're ding bad, dude.
What? I am.
Alright, does everyone just think yeah, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, ding
All right. So let me hand this out. This is just some notes. No.
What?
You're being It's like
So, guys and girls, this is what we got. We're going to go over this sheet, which is some review. And then tomorrow, we will go over the homework, which I'll sign a little bit after I go over this. And then we will have a take-home test that should be turned in for tomorrow. Okay?
I like how all of these boxes are shaded except like 3. There's like 1 row.
I'll give it to you tomorrow. So you have all weekend to worry about it.
oh, okay, gotcha.
All right. So this sheet. All right. Let's look at the linear. Let's look at the linear. Okay, did everyone see up at the very top? You have an unshaded box. It says linear. It says things to look for. Things to look for on linear is you're looking that you just have x or a number in front of x, like 7x or 12x or negative 6x or something like that. Okay? Linear means it's just raised to the first power. If something's raised to the first power, it's just x. So if I have x to the first and x, they mean the exact same thing. And I think you guys and girls would all know how to solve a linear equation. We've done it all year. Okay, so if you had that 2x plus 24 equals 16, you subtract 24, divide every side by both sides by 2. Excuse me. Okay, so that's that very first part. But then you have the quadratic, and they're giving you an example like this. So this is missing. This is missing the linear term. Okay, it doesn't have the x term in there. So on this type of problem, you just solve it. So you get 2x squared is equal to 24, x squared equals 12, x is equal to plus or minus 2 root 3. Okay, so I just kind of skipped this down. Bless you. So that's how you roll with that one, yes? The step here is this. And remember, you have to have that plus minus. Okay? There's another time you might have a quadratic that doesn't have a linear term, and it sits like this. This is looking to be right now to be the difference of 2 squares, because x squared is x times x, 36 is 6 times 6, so you separate with a, there you go, x plus 6 and x minus 6. Now, some of you are saying, well, can't I just add 36 to both sides and take the square root? Yep, and you get the same answer. So that's plus and minus 6. Okay? All right, so quadratic, linear term, and no constant. Okay? So you have the linear term on the next one. So this is more quadratic. So your example they give is this, 2x squared minus 8x is equal to 0. Here's the quadratic term. Here's the linear term. The constant is the numeric value. It's not there. So what do you do in this case? Well, you look for a GCF. In this case, it's going to be 2x. That gives me x minus 4. Okay? So this means 2x is equal to 0. So x equals what here? 0, because 0 divided by 2. And then x is equal to 4. There's my 2 answers. This answer is often forgotten about. Like, you get to right here and you're like, it's not really that important. It's one of the answers. There. What did I do?
You said something about me.
Who knows? It's finally not wrong. All right. On the flip side, we have quadratic trinomial. And you have a problem that looks like this. Right? So, a couple things can take place with this problem. First thing would be what? Yeah, add the 40, so you get this. Now, guys and girls, I welcome you to use the quadratic formula at this point, but there's something that you could do that would make it a little bit easier. What GCF? So what I can do right now is I can say I'm going to divide this by 2, this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. What do I do to one side of the equal sign? I have to do the other side. So what do I get right here?
X squared.
X squared. Cool. What do I get right here?
9x.
Plus 9x. And then what do I get right here?
20.
20 equals 0.
Wait, wouldn't it be around 2?
It wouldn't.
What?
Wouldn't the 2 come out?
No.
Oh, I guess if you wanted to do it like this, yes, by all means. But then, what do you do with this 2 here? Right, so it's easier just to say, hey, I can reduce.
So just take the 2 out of the equation.
So divide everything by it, so it's gone. So this actually does factor this. This is a factorable problem. Sorry I didn't show the factor route on it. I get 2 answers, right? Done. Okay, so sometimes you could have a greatest common factor come out. Okay, so that I just said you just divide everything by it. Sometimes it won't factor. Okay? So sometimes you might have a quadratic. So this is the second one down on that back page. It's quad, and you have this. Okay? So let's move the linear term over. How do I move the linear term over? I add it. Good. Do I have a greatest common factor up here?
Yeah.
No, so I'm not going to go and divide everything by 2 or 3 or whatever.
That'd give you 5.
Okay? So should we see if it can factor? Magic number is what? 6.
5.
Both positive, positive. So 1 and 5 would work, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Take it back. 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. Which one will work to add to 5? 2 and 3 works. So I get 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 3. What's my GCF here? 2 and an x. So that leaves me x plus 1. Awesome. Good deal. And then what do I have here? 3. X plus 1. Sweet. So I get x plus 1, and I'll set that equal to 0. And 2x plus 3 equal to 0. So x equals negative 1 on this one. And this is going to be x equals subtract 3 and divide by 2.
3 over 2.
Negative 3 over 2. So you could use the quadratic formula to get the same answer if you'd like. Okay, so that happens when, sometimes it'll factor. How do you know when to factor and how do you know when not to? Really, if you take a look at it, I would look at a problem. If I was given a problem and if I didn't see the factoring right away, I would go right to the quadratic formula. That would basically be my rule for all of you. If you get to a problem and you're like, okay, can it factor? And you take a look at it and go, no. What would happen at the end if it could be factored? Well, under the square root of the radical is a perfect square, so you're going to get it right regardless. Okay, we have another one that's a quadratic. 2 left. Okay, this one won't factor. This one has no greatest common factor. So my A value is 1, my B value is negative 2, my C value is negative 5. And x is equal to negative b plus minus 4 root b squared minus 4ac. All over 2a. Man, he's fast. What do you think? I am an amateur. All right, what do I get here? 2 plus or minus? What do I get here? 4. Minus 4 times 1 times negative 5. All over 2 times 1. 2 plus or minus, let's see, 4. I get negative 4 times 1 times plus 20. Good. So then this gives me 2 plus or minus root 24 over 2. Take a look at root 24 is the same thing as 2 times 12, 2 times 6, 2 times 3. So 24 is going to be the same thing as this. And then what's the last step? Yeah, see if you can reduce. 2 goes here, here, and here. I get 1 plus or minus root 6. How many answers are there? 2. Last example. Last example. Sometimes we might give you a cubic. But if we give you a cubic in this class, there's probably something you can factor out. So before I factor an x out, what can I do? Yeah, subtract 10x or get everything over, make it equal to 0. And then what can I divide or what can I factor out? 2 and an x. Does that work? So that's 2x squared minus 9x minus 5. Agree?
Equal to
So hey, what would this result in for an answer?
0.
X equals 0. So there's one of my answers. Is that okay?
Yeah.
How many more answers are there?
One more.
There should be 2 more because
Oh.
it's squared. All right,
Oh,
let's
I'm
see if we
done.
can factor it.
Guys,
So
this
negative
is
10 plus and minus. Is that going to work?
Yeah.
Factors 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Will those work?
1 and 10.
1 and 10. All right, so we're just factoring this. So I get 2x squared
Minus 10x.
minus 10x plus 1x minus 5. What can I factor out here? 2 and an x. I get x minus 5. If nothing factors out, what do you bring as a placeholder? 1. So this would be x minus 5 equals 0. So x equals 5. And then 2x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals negative half.
Yep.
How many answers did this problem have?
3.
3. It was raised to the third power. It should have 3 answers.
Oh, okay.
Got it?
Gotcha.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, page 153, 154. Oh,
Are you collecting the 151?
153, 150. No, I don't have it printed.
Are you collecting 151?
Nope, keep it with you.
So that means the test is on Monday, right?
Test is on Monday. So this will be your homework. I will mark this off for points tomorrow. Okay? Got it?
Gotcha.
You have the remainder of the period to start on that. Gives you about 10 minutes. Sweet.
Sweet.